What was your grandfather like?
Tyrant. He was. I learned that I would never treat them like he treated my dad. And I told myself then, if I ever have children, it won't be like that. you know. And I hope that's true. I hope it is attested to be true, and I know it is.
The first memory that pops into my head when I think of Grandma and Grandpa is I remember Grandma used to check me out of elementary school. It was like every once a month she would check me out from Cypress Ridge Elementary School, and she would bring me either to McDonald's or she would like come sit down and have it with me at school. So it was a nice like break in the day. And this was like all throughout like 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. I remember that as like a core childhood memory. So that was really sweet. That was really nice.
Always making holidays special. Christmas, we'd come into an overflowing living room full of toys and just love. And I always remember her making divinity, and I'd make it with her, and we would eat like a whole pan of it. And then Easter, we always got an Easter basket. We always had a swimsuit in it. It was just always magical, all the holidays.
Grandpa made the best homemade ice cream out of a stainless steel. He made it perfectly.
We spent a lot of time in the living room giving each other presents, and it was always a really important thing to me.
The first memory I have is playing in the back room with Grandma's toys that she has. It's been passed around by every grandkid, every family member possible. I would say that's probably the first thing that pops into my head. And also Gigi and Papa coming to my lunches every Wednesday when I was a kid for early release pickup. And I remember they would bring me McDonald's, they would bring me a Happy Meal with a toy, and they would let me go to the dollar store. That was probably one of my very first memories. And also, I do have this memory of like camping with them, and I don't remember whose camper it was, but we like camped out somewhere and Grandma and Grandpa took me, and it was just the best time ever.
Probably my favorite was traveling to North Carolina with them in the camper van. I remember when they got the van and I'd play in the driveway on the Super Nintendo that was hooked up in there. And eventually we took a trip together and went and saw the mountains. And it was just me, Grandma, and Grandpa, and it felt special.
We took Bob and Lily to the Alan Jackson concert in Orlando at the old basketball arena. And we got there pretty early, and we went out on the balcony before we went to the seats. And the band was out setting up on the stage, and we were taking it all in. And Jennifer and I were standing at the balcony, and Bob and Lily were behind us. And I heard some drunk yell out, "Alan!" and really loud. I'm like, oh man, I looked around behind me, and it was Bob.
And he wasn't drunk.
He wasn't drunk, he was just being crazy.
Yeah, that was,
We'll never
I've never
forget
seen
that.
my dad do anything like that before in my life.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Could I have your attention, please? I'm the oldest here, and I'm in charge. Will and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. We love each and every one of you. And I would like to say that I've had a wonderful life. We've been around the world many times and seen many places. So my idea to you is go and see what's on the other side of the hill, because you'll never regret it.
I remember what Grandpa taught me, and I know this is gonna be the same for a lot of people, is
You need to save your money.
Save money, to be frugal, but also be smart with your money, to make your money work for you.
to save it, to figure out ways to invest your money. I remember that being a huge thing. Like all throughout the time that I grew up, he would always tell me to save my money, put it away, put it into a bank, just get it in there and start saving.
You know, he was always asking about school. Was I going to school? Was I furthering my education? And save money.
I always said about money, doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you keep. He's drilled that in our head for
Yes.
almost 40 years.
And he drilled it in my head that I was going to college. Yeah, I think he told me that the day I came out of my mother's womb because he wouldn't stop telling me that. So anyway, but I love him for it. And I thank you, Dad, for giving me college, the ability to go to college and paying for it.
Grandpa taught me about how to always put God first and make Jesus the center of your life, and everything else will fall into place. And I still use that to this day to the best of my ability, but I appreciate that advice because it's still the best advice.
Grandpa always taught me to make sure to pay myself first. And, you know, before you pay your bills, before you pay everything, you pay yourself. Make sure that you're set. And they taught me a lot of good values like that.
I learned that they provided so much care for our family and love for our family, and it was always putting the kids first, and they just brought us a whole bunch of great memories, and I know I love them so much, and I totally respect them. I guess that's what I want to really say, is I respect them.
So many stories to share from Grandma and Grandpa. I think the one that's popping up in my mind right now is one time, this is a private conversation between me and Grandpa we had, and he asked me, he pulls me aside and he said, "Have you saved up your first 100K?" And I told him, I said, "Oh my God, nope, not yet." And then he says, "Okay, good. Even if you did, you didn't." So that was Grandpa.
I asked him when I was little, I was probably like 5 or 6, I was like, "Grandpa, why don't you have any hair? Like, why are you bald?" And he told me that when he was younger, his hair flew off his head and he lost it in the wind, and I genuinely believed him. I looked at him and I was like, "Grandpa, is that gonna happen to me? Like, what?"
I will always remember when our kids were growing up, and mostly when Mike was working out of town, and you were always there for the kids at every awards ceremony, every basketball game, every football game, every graduation, birthday party, everything. You always showed up, and we appreciate that.
Hi, Grandpa. Hi, Grandma. It's Lauren. Thank you so much for always giving us this beautiful family to take the opportunity and spend time with each other, and always encouraging us to travel and be who we are, and loving in Christ, and a beautiful family.
Thank you for always being there for us, for your kids, for your grandkids, for your great-grandkids. Family is everything to you, and you've taught that to all the generations behind you, and you should be very proud of that, and we love you.
I love my mom and dad. It's more than anybody will ever know.
But we love you. Happy 90th birthday to you. And looking forward to the next one. And thank you for all you do for us. We love you and Lily both.
We love you so much.
And that's all for us. Love y'all.
It was overwhelming, really. But I enjoyed every minute of it. And I tried to get to speak to every one of them, no matter what size age bracket they were in, what age bracket or whatever. And just to relate to them, and so that someday that they would say, I talked to my grandpa. And those are the things that I like to say, you know, to them. And it would just it means so much to have the gathering of the numbers that we had. I didn't imagine the numbers that we would get, and we did, and that was great. That was fantastic, really. Yeah.